The vineyard is my happy place. It's a big part of who I am. People often talk about how wine is made in the vineyard, and it's true. It's the vines that do all the work. All the effort you have to do is at the front end. My approach to winemaking is all about balance, length and complexity, and allowing the mark of Tassie's climate and each individual site to shine. Each year provides something different, a new adventure to meticulously craft each parcel of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay to be perfectly reflective of the place it's grown. So we'll start with the drawing. We do the Tamar Valley through here, and then we go across up to Ediston Point, down the east coast here, and when we poke in a little bit around here near Swansea, and Frasernay down to Eaglehawk Neck, and then long. I overemphasise the Derwent because Hobart people are very special. We have to make sure they don't miss out. And we go up along the west coast now into Strawn, a little bit there. Okay, up to Woolnorth, along a bit here. Put the nut in, and then down along the mighty northwest coast. So this is Tasmania, and we're going to look at the things that affect our different regions and where we take our Pinot from. So you're an island state, so we have a big influence from the cold sea, Bass Strait, and the seas around the different parts of the coast. The majority of the weather from Tassie is coming from the northwesterly winds that come off the Bass Strait, and it's cold, like 12-degree temperature of the sea. So the air is quite cold, and it also brings most of the moisture. And so we have a lot of wet weather on the west coast, like 2.5-3 minutes of rain, and how inhospitable all this area is. So if you come into Tassie, just be warned that it's a tough part of the town. And it's tough because the west coast is a lot wetter, and then those mountains stop a lot of that rain, and the east coast is dry, and that's where most of the vineyards are. So if we looked at each of the vineyard sites, we have the Pipers River, which is our home vineyard in a region called the Pipers River, in the northeast part of Tassie, and it's only 5 kilometres from the Bass Strait. And so our temperatures are quite mild, maybe a warm day would be 25 degrees for us, but it's a very long season, so it also doesn't get super cold in the winter either. So we have a long growing season, but quite overall a cooler summer. Around to the east coast, we go down to Swansea, which is just near the Frasernay Peninsula, and that is our warmest site. Swansea, really dry and warm. This is the sunshine coast of Tasmania, where people go for their holidays. And for us, it's distinctive because it has warm days and warm nights. We would then look down to our other vineyard, the Coal River Valley, and this is a classic region of Tasmania, and it's only 20 minutes from Hobart, and it's really dominated strongly by those winds that are coming from the northeast most of the year, but they're very dry by the time they pass through the state. They go down through the state, they dry off across the sort of the Midlands Plains, and so this area of Tasmania is very dry. It's as dry as the Barossa Valley, so it has very warm temperatures during the day, but actually often quite cool nights, and it produces a very distinctive wine because of that. So Coal River Valley is sort of very much about blue fruits and softer tannins, but still retains a fair bit of acidity because its nights can still be cool from colder sort of breezes during the evening that come off the sea at the south. And then our final region is Ouse, which is a very unique side, which is more central, going up the Derwent Valley. It's really interesting because it's probably the most central of all vineyards. There's nothing else around it, and it can get up to 40 degrees. So it's the hottest temperatures in Tassie. If you look at maximum temperatures, Ouse can often get to 38 and over 40 degrees during the day, but on the same day can also get down to 5 degrees overnight. So it's got a massive diurnal change, and that makes it in its own way a very unique and very different sort of style. But what keeps them all together is they're all old vineyards. They're all managed very well with low yields, so that's critical to make sure you've got the basic building blocks of a quality wine. So that's sort of roughly where they're located in Tassie. But I can't forget the mainland, so here's a bit of a picture of how I think it looks from my memories of it.